Hey folks, I wanted to make a video about the Hillsong song of the title So Will I 100 billion times. And it's about God and creation, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. So I wanted to do a star thing with a particle system, which is, of course, is not what this looks like right now. And I wanted to make like I've done an explosion of stars and I've done star fields before, but this time what I want to do is I want to do a galaxy. So I'm going to turn off gravity because we're in space, and this gives us a nice explosion, which is cool looking. But what we want to do is animate out what has to happen for a galaxy to form properly, and then like sort of stop it. So let's make the particles dots. Well, that looks stupid. Should we use stars and make them really, really small? Would that work? Let's try it. Like, make this a 0.02 and a 0.02. I mean, it's not a terrible idea. And then we would make the birth color white and the death color something like a yellow, maybe. Sorry, the color thing is over here. My apologies. That was out of screen. Let's make it yellow. And then we need a lot more particles. So let's see. The producer. Birth rate. There we go. Let's make this 15. Let's make this 30. Oop, what did I do? Dang. Okay. Let's make this 30. Oh, 20 is the max. No, 20 is not the max. That's a weird scaling. So you can just make this bigger and bigger, but it says 0 to 20. I can make this 50 if I wanted. Weird. Okay. So way too fast. I guess the thing that's going to determine whether this works or not is if I can spin this or not while it's going. And if I can't spin it while it's going, I almost can't do this at all. So let's try two things. First of all, we need to be able to stop the particles in a form. So let's look for what that would look like. If I have the velocity become 0, like if I say this is one velocity, and then at the 1 second mark, it's 0 velocity. Whoops. Ooh, that's cool looking. Whoa. Ooh, that's cool. Don't need it today, though. Oh, I can do a twirl. Well, that's helpful. Okay, so if I say this and then stop, it still moves. So that just affects the new particles, probably. That's probably what it is, which is not what we want. What we want to do is have viscosity go up so that the particles will stop, probably. That's probably the way to go. Okay, so let us remove this guy. Let's see. I'm going to get rid of this. Okay, and what we want is we want viscosity to go up. Where is viscosity? Or like resistance. That's kind of the same thing. Okay, so when we get to 1, the resistance becomes like as high as it can go. Just crazy high. So now, and then the longevity has to be really long. Like, it has to be as long as the video. So that's almost there. So now we kind of got a spinning galaxy. We still have new being created, though. We actually don't want that. What we want is the birth rate to be like 200, and then at the 1 second mark for it to be like 0. Of course, I didn't actually keyframe that, so that's not going to work. Let's make it 300. So I'm not seeing like arms of a twirl. Can I do twirly? What does that do? That looks bad. I don't like that. Jet sideways. What does that do? I don't like that either. Let's do, I guess twirl is probably the best option. And I need, what's this? Let's make that really high. Let's make that really low. Okay. I guess inherited velocity would be if I animated its movement, which could be the way to go. Can I rotate? I cannot rotate the producer. So I can't create additional tension there. Let's see what this does. Okay, that actually moves. That does rotate it. Okay, great. So what I can do is, let's see if this works. I can make this the direction and then have the direction rotate like 180 degrees. Okay. And the depth color should just be white because I don't want it to change color at all. All right, let's kind of play that and see what it looks like. Okay. The stars go too far, so their initial velocity is too high. So I'm going to first put this to 0.4. So that looks more like a galaxy. It doesn't look like the right kind of galaxy, but... Let me think. How am I going to get this to be the right shape? Random seed? No. Okay. So gravity's not going to work, because gravity will just make it fall, which looks really cool, but not what we want. Inherited velocity. Right? What if I make this bigger? Let's make this 5, 5. So we'd start the video after this had already started because we just want a spinning galaxy. And so I don't like it how it kind of is going to slow down. Can I have the spinning continue and will not have any effect whatsoever? So this is going to, let's have it at the 15-second mark. Be like 5 or 3. I don't think that will do anything though, because there's no emission coming out. Okay, so what if I reduce resistance? What's going to happen then? Like, if resistance goes down over time. I'm still not getting the kind of spin that I want. Let's try this twirly one. Okay, that's not doing anything. Let's do twirl. Okay, let's try inherited velocity. Let's make that much higher. Extra. What does extra do? Like, what is extra doing? I don't get it. Extra spin? I could use extra spin. Let's have that animated. Okay. Let's have this be here. And then at the end, extra hits 50. Okay, that's good. We're getting spin. Let's have extra start like here. So I really need resistance to go way down over time. I need to go down to almost 0, I think. So resistance needs to really just plummet as time goes on. And I need the lifespan to be longer. So there's no chance the lifespan will even be reached. Alright, that's not terrible. Now, maybe there's some kind of visual effect I can apply on top of this that will give me the illusion I'm looking for. Let's see. Twirl. Like a twirl distortion, maybe. Okay, let's try that. So I'm gonna minimize that. I'm gonna create a adjustment layer and then add a distortion to this whole thing. That's kind of more in line with what I want. Okay, but I need to spin it the other way. So let's pause this. It would be the other way. It would be like that. Twirl radius. Okay. Okay, so I feel like I can't have the particles die out totally. Like I almost feel like I need some new particles going into the system. So I'm gonna have the birth rate not go to 0. It will go to like 15. Oh, that's not good. And then it will go to 15. And then it will be at 15. That looks weird. Wait, did it not animate? Something's wrong here. It's like it's not receiving these birth rate should be animated. So it should be that it starts at like 400 and then weird. That was odd. Okay. Birth rate 400. You get to this 1 second mark. We're down to 15. So we're at 400, 15, and we're still creating particles. That's good, actually. Okay. Maybe that spin, that extra is too much. Let's try to dial that down a little bit. So we end at 50, let's end at 25. Okay, let me play this a little bit. So I think what would finish the effect is if it looked like time was changing speed somehow. So I can do that by creating a background layer that looks like stars. And the way to do that is with a solid black again in the background, and this would have a fractal or some kind of fractal noise would probably do the trick. Let me see if that works. Whoa, oh right, that's going to be a problem because that will get affected by the twirling. Okay, so now we're in pre-comp land. I need to, let's see, I need to copy. I'm gonna just copy this. That's another way to do it. So one of these is going to be Galaxy. Another one of these is going to be Starfield. What do I? This one. This one will be Starfield, I think. Or maybe this one will just be main. Let's try that. Okay, so let's open both of them. So one of them is Galaxy. That one will not have this background black. It will just have this. And then the main will have none of these. It will actually have the Galaxy pre-composition right in there. Like so. And actually, in that case, I can almost, I would almost change like when it starts, but I think it's just easier to have it start like that. Have it end at 16. Start at 1, end at 16. And then now what I can do is add a solid. Let's make it 2048 by 2048. So this will be a giant black solid that will have a fractal noise on it. The fractal noise will be set in such a way so as to look kind of like stars. And we'll do that with, nope, not that one. I mean, ultimately, whatever we're going to do here, we're going to screw with the, that one probably would work actually just fine. Make the contrast really high, make the brightness really low, make the like the size really big. Where's the size? Where are you? Transform, there you go. Now we got stars. I can play around with which one I actually pick. Can make it less bright. That looks like a star field. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to animate this in such a way where it's like over here, and by the end of the video it will be moved like that, kind of. And I'm going to turn on motion blur for this thing, and motion blur is on for the whole thing. And then this will have a blending mode of add, so it's adding to the background star field, which is moving in the background. There you go. That was cool. Does kind of get weird after a while. Let me see. Let me go back to this. I kind of want it to not look so weird. I'd rather continue in its spinning if possible. So let's review what animations we have going on here, because maybe what we need to do is just delete all of these except extra, except resistance. Yeah, just like let it keep spinning and growing and just going. Okay, let's see what we got. So it's just still spinning. And I guess I do want extra to heat up a little more so that it keeps spinning. Or resistance to go down even further somehow. Let's see what we can do with that. So resistance is here. It's at 200. It ends at what? It stays at 200. Oh, geez. What we wanted to have happen was resistance to go down to like 0. Let's see what that looks like. Let's have it be like 0. Okay. And extra should go up even higher to like 50. And this should go up to like 7. Okay. And then this looks pretty good. And then we need text to say, if the stars were made to worship, so will I. Like a really small text right in the middle. Okay, this is too big. Yikes. So I need to reduce the this distance a lot. And I don't like this font at all. Just Times New Roman. That is not going to work. Man, all the fonts look odd. Let's try this one. And I know I want to get rid of this and make this even more small. If the stars were made to worship, so will I. The stars were made to worship, so will I. Sorry, I'm not a good singer, but I love singing. Okay. And then 360. This is at 720, I think. So that is correct, I think. And this is centered. Okay. And then I can add an effect like a wipe. Linear wipe, where are you? Linear wipe. And it would be more like this, I think, that direction. And you can see this is too blurry. Let's make it less blurry. Right. And that's going to lock there. And then by the end of the video, the stars were made to worship someone. That is taking too long. Is that even happening? Yeah, that is way too long. That goes totally differently. Let's try to make that happen differently. Ooh, where are you? There you are. Okay. Oh, geez. That's a terrible default. Thank you. Okay. So, the stars were made to worship. I would like it if it transitions to this point. And then this takes a little bit longer. Ugh, looks terrible. Why is the transition so weird? Is it like doing it for the whole sheet? That's awful if that's the case. All right, so if that's the case, let's just do this. All right. So will I. All right. That looks pretty good. Stars were made to worship, so will I. Okay, now I think I need to alter this text a little bit though and have it say like if stars, and then raise it slightly. And then maybe, should I not use black? Should I use like red? Or like a yellow? To worship, so will I. Now I'd like to make the center of the galaxy larger so that the text fits better. And I think the way to do that is just to change the radius of this thing. Make it 7, 7, maybe 10, 15. Ooh. Maybe make this a little bit oblong looking, like make this 10. Interesting. So will I. And then maybe what I could do is make the text more like not so, oh jeez, I hate it when it does that. Let's do this. Nope, didn't mean to do that either. Didn't mean to do that either. There we go. We can make it like this would be left justified ish. If the stars were made, we'll make it all left justified, and then we'll add spaces. All right, a little bigger, maybe. A little more distance between the letters. Stars were made to worship, so will I. It's a really beautiful song. Really happy to be making something to utilize it. And to worship, so will I. Okay, now let's take another look at our distortion effect, if that should be smaller, or if there should be two of them for that matter. So this one would be like the close one, and then on top of that would be another twirl. What about that idea? Let's just double this one. Can I just copy it? No? Okay, fine. Be that way. I'll just do it again. This will be spun the same direction. It will just be a larger radius. So that really looks kind of like a galaxy to me. So now what I wanted, now I'm thinking actually that I should make this even more oblong in order to establish the twirliness of it. Let's make this, oh, There it is. We've done it. Phenomenal. Okay, let's make this 3, maybe, or 5. And that's the money shot. That took long enough. Okay, so now I need to adjust my text to fit this new shape. That took long enough. All right. So I kind of want to rotate this whole thing somehow. Or just make this smaller again. Let's make it smaller again. Or make the whole thing bigger. Yeah, let's make the whole thing bigger. La 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 la. Let's see. Okay. We'll make this like that. Ooh. Ooh. That's cool. Dang. That is what I was looking for this whole time. Okay. Should have thought of that. Should have thought of that earlier. Sorry, folks, for the delay there. Okay. If stars were made... That was cool, but I don't have enough room for that. Unless I make the font really small. Yikes, come on, you know what I'm talking about. Okay. Whoa. If the stars... And then do this, were made to worship. If the stars were made to worship. If the stars were made to worship, so will I. How about this, though? What about this? If the stars were made to worship. And then I have a separate piece of text, like unrelated. So we go like, if the stars were made to worship. Which, geez, that should not look like that. It should say, get rid of this. And we'll have this keyframe be more aggressive. Okay. So we'll say if the stars were made to worship, and then we have a new text box, which will just be a copy of this one. And this one will be over on the right, this way, and it will say, so will I. And it will be over here, like that. Spelling will correctly, thank you. And it will be with, nope. Will I. Stars, so will I. So this will be delayed. Nope. Yes. Stars were made to worship, so will I. Made to worship, so will I. Now I could make these black. Black as your heart. No. In order for them to stand out a little better. Stars. Stars were made to worship. So will I. Made to worship, so will I. Play it. To worship, so will I. Now I think so will I should be kind of emboldened a little bit because of the emphasis of that. So let's make this 15. Same font size, just more emboldened. We'll make this a 0.5 just to make it very, very subtle. All right, folks, I'm going to try to render this and see what we have. Hey folks, so the render came back. Let's take a look. I think what I want to do is have the galaxy and the text all rotate slightly. I think that'd be really cool. I don't know how hard that's going to be to do, but I want to give it a shot and see what happens. I might move the text to be on the same pre-comp with the galaxy to make that a little bit easier. So let's take a look. I'm going to take this and cut it and bring it over here. And put it above the adjustment layer with all the distortion on it. Okay, so now it's all together. And now what I want to do is make a solid, no, not a solid, a null object. I want to put that null object in the center. Which is not where it is. It kind of is where it is, actually. Okay. And then, because this is the center of it, which is stupid looking, but whatever. And now what I would need to do is make this a little bit bigger than the normal resolution. So we're going to make this 1080 by 1080. Because I need a little room there to rotate it. Okay. Okay, cool. And now what I'm going to do is, starting, I guess, here. First of all, I'm going to have everything but the adjustment layer should sort of pinwheel back to the null, which is the anchor. Okay, and then that can sort of rotate a little bit. Not a lot, just enough to like establish that it's a spinning thing. Okay. So the stars are, the text is off considerably. Let's try to adjust that and make it be where it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be like here, I think. That text is off too. It's kind of weird. Not really sure what happened there. Okay. Like what I want is not for it to be lined up like that. That's not what I asked for. That's not what way it looked earlier. We're almost there, but we're not there yet. So what I need to do is first of all, I need the initial rotation to be a correction the other direction, which is here. And then I need these guys to have been corrected themselves a little bit. Let's do this one first. And we'll just give the other one the same rotation. That looks right. More like this. Okay, so that's a negative 63%, negative 63 rotation. And we're gonna relocate this guy too. Okay, I don't want it to rotate that much because I don't want to look like a mockery of the lyric, if that makes sense. So we'll have it rotate like this much. So it's going to go from like I'll have it be positive like that, and then rotate. If the stars were made to worship, so will I. And what's its explosion at the end? What, I don't remember that happening. Let's see. Do I have some weird keyframe situation here? Okay, I think that's a major improvement. I think that's a major improvement. Let's take a look at the video one more time. I think I saw something I wanted to change too. Like this is moving. It's fine. Seems to slow down over time. So as it slows down, I think the background should slow down. And then I don't want this explosion at the end. So I think to prevent that, first of all, let's go back to this one, main one. And what we can do is have this guy take a little longer to get to his destination. So it's almost like it starts to slow down a little bit there. And then for this guy, we can basically draw the birth rate of these particles to a close. So near the end of the video, we'll just have it be like 0. So there's just no more particles coming out of this thing now. The stars were made to worship, so will I. That transition's a little too fast. Let's try to make the transition for so will I a little slower. Dang. Slow down, man. So will I. Stars were made to worship. Now it's probably too slow. Now it's probably way too slow. Too slow. Let's see. So it's stars were made to worship. Should have already happened. Yeah. Okay. I'll bring this over here. Bring this up a little bit. So will I. Okay. Go back to main. We got this whole situation. I think so will I is now misaligned. Let's try to get that closer to the edge. Let's try to move that a little closer to like the edge of the galaxy. The edge of the galaxy. The edge of the center of the galaxy. Okay, do we like that or not? Let's try to click elsewhere. Stars were made to worship, so will I. Yeah, I don't know. Once again, one of the best songs ever. It just, when it came out, I think it was like last year, it blew everybody away. It was so good. Stars are made to worship, so will I. Alright, I think that's good. Let's try that and we'll see what we got. Alright, rendered it. It looks pretty good. I think we're ready to share. Here's what it looks like now. This is going a little fast, but I think it looks pretty good. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe and like and comment if this was helpful or interesting. And let me know if you have any questions. Have a great day.